Guys, you're back at the lab. It's Monday morning, it's a public holiday. Could be doing Abby, but it's a public holiday. Technically, it's still the weekend, so it's time to carry on with the march. I'm not weighing any of this. Just not doing it today. This stuff is just randomly falling on the floor. There's one there. Yeah, one went around the corner over there somewhere when I blew the air gun through here to clear all the stuff out. Making this beastie a little bit lighter, just fluffing around, right? So I'll either get it powder coated. I've got a bit of a deal organised to get this done quite cheap. It'll be easier than painting it, but I'm just got to make up my mind whether it's worthwhile powder coating with their while. Hole saw through the ends of these plates here where the tubes are. We don't need that piece of material. It's just waste time. Someone can do some finite stress analysis and all that sort of carry on, but I don't think that actually even does anything once you've got a weld around there and all the stresses are all going out this way. They're not going to do nothing. But apart from that, there were a couple of riv nuts that were stuck inside this tube that were rattling around inside there, and I wanted to get them out. And if I'm going to drill a hole in one, I might as well drill a hole in the other, and if I've done those two, I should just do these two as well. Of course, I'm going to have to put some tape or something over that hole when I put it back in the car, otherwise water's going to go in there and the tube's going to rust from the inside out. We can put some the likes of the CRC cavity filler and all that sort of carry on, rust inhibitor. We can do that on the inside of these tubes now, whereas we couldn't before. So that's a good thing perhaps. You'll see the lines there. I don't even need to tell you what I'm doing there, do I? It's blatantly obvious. It's too much material just kicking around, just doing nothing. It's not going to be there for long. We'll get rid of those. Same on the other side. I need to figure out what is the deal with this hole here. This, for some reason, is a different spot to where it used to be. I need to figure out which one it is and fill in the old one. That came about sometime during the conversion to four-wheel drive, I think, because this bar was chopped here and we spliced a new section in a different shape, because I think that was straight originally, probably. There'll be some pictures somewhere that will show that. And of course, with the engine being over there and then the engine going that way and coming forward, this bar needs to be different, so it was chopped out and replaced. When that happened, somehow this has walked its way one way or another, and oddly these holes still work, but that one didn't. Weirdness, I don't know. I'll figure that out. That's ugly, I don't like it, I'll fix it. Not that anyone ever sees it anyway, but it needs to be prettier, in my opinion. Then, like I say, paint or powder coat, make up my mind. It's 10 o'clock, I've got something else to do this morning, but I can crack on with this for a little bit, go and do that, come back, carry on in the afternoon. Cool. You guys will all know this trick, just a rough template. Put a piece of paper over whatever it is you're trying to figure out where the holes are. Rub your grubby, dirty fingers around all over the place so you'll find where the holes are. Just like that, see? Pretty realistic, good marks on there, just for figuring out roughly where that mess is supposed to be. And I have some leather hole punches, I guess they're called, gasket hole punches, whatever you want to call them. Bit of wood, smash those through there, and then we can put that on top of there and figure out where it's gone wrong and why, maybe. Well, according to this highly sophisticated piece of equipment, that mess there, the elongated, wobbly, whatever, approximately there is where our hole is supposed to be. I have no idea what's going on with that one, why it's there or whatever. I don't remember. Could have been done a long time ago, or it could have been, like I say, when the four-wheel drive conversion was done. It's moved somehow or whatever. Really don't care who did it. Obviously it was me, but if there's things that need fixing, I'll call them out and fix them regardless of who's responsible. So what I'm going to do now is actually fit this back up into the car, see what's going on, whether these two line up properly, whether this has done something dodgy. It's a bit of a nuisance actually to try and cut that off and reposition it, but it may be that that's what happens. I mean, it's not the it's definitely not a work of art, this thing. She's had some chops and changes, and she's a bit agricultural, but I don't want it to the extreme. A nice aluminium one would be cool, but the flip side of that is a lot of these pieces have been in here for a long time. It's kind of cool keeping the original stuff in the car to some extent. Right, let's figure out what's wrong.
Right. Right. Driver's side, not too bad. Pretty large hole there, to be fair, but it's fine. You put a big washer on it, clamp it right up. It will be okay for the job that it's doing. It's not a cylinder head on the engine or anything, and that one's rubbish, but it is the hole that I thought it was, not the big, massive, elongated mess. As you can see by the amount of paint that's missing from there, the solution for that was big washer. Don't really want to do that anymore. I want to fix that up properly. Everything else, that one might be a bit sketchy. Probably enough room in those holes to put a bit of tension on it, pull it across and get the bolt in and be alright. So we need to fix this one up. Everything else will be satisfactory. It's not perfect, but it will be okay for what it's doing. Poor old thing had a big smack. There's a dent there, there's a dent there. So what happens when you bang into the wall on the skid pan? Probably could fix that. I'll decide whether I want to do that or not. Other side, obviously still pretty straight. Good. Okay, time for a drive somewhere to get some stuff and things. And we'll carry on. Poor old thing hasn't been anywhere in days. Do you reckon it'll go? Oh, goes. Good start. Bit stumbly. You know what? Let's go for a drive. The old... I'll just give this a quick 5-minute scratch up and then we can get some paint on it. 2 hours later. Should have sent it and got it powder coated. Never mind. It's most of the way there, ready for painting. A perfect paint job. It's just going to get sandblasted, right? That's the end of story. That's what you're going to do. For what I want to do, considering this thing probably isn't going to last forever, like I've said a million times, I do want to do something a bit better than this. I just want it protected from rust and a nice shiny black, not looking terrible. So we've got almost all of the horrible VHT and all that sort of carry on off there. I can give it just a little bit more of a scratch in areas like this. It's a bit hard to get there with wire buff. I do have a sandblaster. I'm not going to go there because it just makes too much mess. It's too much of a nuisance. I've used it a few times and it's no good. It's a nuisance. So a little bit more of a tidy up. We'll mix up some primer and we'll get some paint on this thing.
If I sound like Darth Vader, that's a respirator thing on my face. I don't want to get poisoned. Not too much anyway. Primer's done. It's all ready to go. It's such a tidy workbench, but the paint's mixed up. Shiny black. Doing its thing. Ready to go. Gun's clean today. I did clean that.
Success. Well, I might be speaking too soon. Usually with things like this, no matter how hard you try, you pick them up and you turn them over the next day. Or go to fit them in the vehicle and then it's glaringly obvious you've missed a massive piece of the tube somewhere and it's all bad. It's okay with simple colour like this, just gloss black, just jet black I think it might be. You just tidy it up, you just touch it up and buff the edges or whatever, it'll be fine. If it's a tiny little wee bit of VHT gloss black over the top of it, done. So that's certainly a massive improvement on what we had before. It's by no means perfect, but it's pretty good result for a garage paint job. and you saw I didn't get too carried away cleaning up the workshop or anything. I didn't sweep the floor or anything like that. Just got out the gun. Psh, psh, she's black. Good. That'll go in the car. Most of that can't be seen once the car's assembled anyway. It's basically, you can just see the top bar here, this side of it, and a few pieces around here, and the rest of it kind of disappears into oblivion. So, as I say, pretty successful in that it is all now coated with a nice corrosion resistant primer. It's got a lot of zinc in it and all that sort of carry on, and it's got a chemical resistant, so 2-pot paint on there. So if I have some sort of an incident in the engine bay and I need to use a lot of parts cleaner or whatever, it's not going to got water blowing in here. It's drizzling outside. We're getting water on my brand new paint. That's not good. Close the door, shall we? Don't want to ruin it before we fit it. If I end up using some parts cleaner or whatever, this is not going to have any issues dealing with that. It'll be absolutely fine. So that's good. Tomorrow's Tuesday. It's not a public holiday anymore, so we'll be back on Abbey. But I will fit this first because it'll get it out of the way and it won't get scratched up, which is absolutely going to happen if it's lying around in the workshop. Cool. All right. Thanks for watching, guys. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe and all that sort of carry on. And some of you probably haven't hit the notification bell. You might want to do that, or you might not want to do that. There might be too many videos coming through for you. Cool. All right. Cheers, bye.